Have another print disability, which makes reading, holding a book, or turning a page difficult or impossible. The content is copyrighted by the respective publishers. For more information, please visit us on the web at nfradioreading.org.
Hello, this is Willard Evans, and for the next hour, I'll be reading from the Saturday, July 25th through July 31st issue of the Buffalo Criterion on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Leading off, our first article carries the headline, Buffalo's second annual Black Business Month Conference moves to the Statler. The Exchange at Beverly Gray will host its second annual Black Business Month Conference, Bold Moves Only 2, Built to Scale, on Saturday, August 1st at the Statler, Buffalo, 107 Delaware Avenue. The conference opens National Black Business Month with a full day of programming for BIPOC entrepreneurs, followed by an evening fireside chat with John Hope Bryant, founder and CEO of Operation Hope. The Exchange at Beverly Gray has served more than 800 founders over the past 6 years and maintains a working community of 1,300 entrepreneurs across the region. Its programming, including one-on-one clinics, workshops, mentorship, and capital development, is built to help Black and Brown-owned businesses start, thrive, and scale. Buffalo's founders don't need permission to think big. They need a room that thinks as big as they do, said Derek A. Parson, Executive Director of the Exchange at Beverly Gray. That's why Bold Moves Only 2 is important to the Western New York community. Bringing John Hope Bryant here is our way of saying the future of Black business is expanding in this city right now. Every great business district started with people who refused to believe the ceiling was real. That's what we're building, and that's what August 1st is about. Black-owned employer businesses generated $249 billion in revenue and supported more than 1.8 million jobs nationally in 2023, according to Brookings Institution research, a 62% increase in the number of Black-owned employer firms since 2017. Yet Black Americans still own just 3.4% of the nation's employer businesses, while making up 14.4% of the population. And the median white household held $285,000 in wealth in 2022 compared to $44,900 for the median Black household, according to the Federal Reserve's Survey of Consumer Finances. The Exchange at Beverly Gray exists to close that gap locally, giving Western New York's BIPOC founders direct access to capital, legal support, and mentorship in one room. Last year, the inaugural Bold Moves Only conference drew more than 200 attendees and 10 speakers, with headliner Fawn Weaver, CEO and founder of Uncle Nearest Premium Whiskey. This year, Bold Moves Only 2 expands that footprint with a larger speaker roster and a move to the Statler. From 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., guests will attend breakout sessions covering accounting and finance, branding and marketing, public relations, funding and capital, grants, trademark and legal protection, podcasting and media, artificial intelligence, fashion entrepreneurship, cannabis business, and construction and contracting. The day also includes on-site LLC registration and legal assistance, a vendor village, and Bold Moves Junior, a youth entrepreneurship track where kids pitch their own business ideas in a faux pitch competition. The evening session from 5 to 10 p.m. includes a panel discussion with entrepreneurs, a fireside chat with Bryant, and a reception. Bryant founded Operation Hope in 1992. The organization has since delivered financial literacy and coaching services to millions and become a central voice in the national conversation on closing the racial wealth gap. His fireside chat closes the conference. The conference also includes special guest Denise Woodard, founder and CEO of Partake Foods. Savitri Wilson, investor and founder and CEO of Prosper All and Resilia. And Harold Hughes, founder and CEO of NFNTE Capital. The featured speaker roster includes additional local and national voices in fashion, legal services, construction, and financial literacy, with more names to be announced weekly leading up to the event. Tickets start at $49 and are available at www.zeffy.com/n-us/ticketing/bold-moves-only-II. Full speaker lineup, schedule, and conference details are available at theexchangebuffalo.org and Bold Moves Only #2, lovable.app. Black Business Month programming at the Exchange is supported by the John R. Oshai Foundation, the Buffalo Bills Foundation, KeyBank, the Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Foundation, Bank on Buffalo, and the Statler Buffalo. Our next article carries the headline, New Behavioral Health Center Opens to Expand Culturally Responsive Care. At Dumas RISE Providers, Inc., we strive to be a place of hope and inspiration for better days ahead, said Kelly Dumas, founder and CEO. Everyone deserves access to culturally centered mental health care where they feel seen, understood, and supported on their healing journey. More than the opening of a new office located at 170 Leroy Street, the event represents hope, healing, and a renewed commitment to serving individuals and families who have historically faced barriers to quality mental health care. The new center will provide culturally responsive behavioral health services while helping to develop the next generation of clinicians of color and strengthening the overall wellness of the community. To the best of the organization's knowledge, Dumas RISE, R-I-S-E, Providers is among the first, if not the first, Black-founded and Black-operated behavioral health organizations in Western New York to receive this designation. The achievement reflects years of leadership, advocacy, and unwavering commitment to increasing access to equitable behavioral health care. Founder and Chief Executive Officer Kelly Dumas, LCSW, has long been recognized as a leader in advancing mental health equity throughout Western New York. Following the May 14, 2022 tragedy in Buffalo, she was instrumental in establishing the Black Mental Health Response Team, helping ensure that culturally centered support was available to affected families, neighborhoods, and first responders during one of the community's most difficult moments. For more information, call 716-815-5006. That's 716-815-5006. Or email info@dumasriseproviders.org. www.dumasriseproviders.org. Next up, New York State Higher Education Services Corporation named 2026 Top Workplace by City and State. This is from Albany. The New York State Higher Education Services Corporation, or HESC, announced today that City and State New York has named HESC to the 2026 Top Workplace list that recognizes organizations that demonstrate the best in workplace culture, employee engagement, and innovation. This honor reflects the work HESC employees do every day to support New Yorkers and help make higher education more accessible and affordable. It celebrates the agency's commitment to serving students, families, and communities through programs and services that create pathways to opportunity, including the migration of the call center, which launched in spring 2026 to enhance the way HESC connects with and supports New Yorkers. As New York State's financial aid agency, HESC plays a vital role in helping students access higher education opportunities. Each year, HESC awards nearly $1 billion in financial aid to nearly 300,000 students across New York State. HESC also administers the Tuition Assistance Program, or TAP, T-A-P, one of the nation's largest need-based college grant programs, helping eligible New Yorkers pursue a college education. New York State Higher Education Services Corporation Acting President Doris P. B. Gonzalez champions the importance of fostering a collaborative and inclusive workplace culture. Earlier this year, Ms. Gonzalez was recognized as a city and state trailblazer in higher education. Under her leadership, HESC was also named a 2026 Top Workplace of the Capital Region by the Times Union, further recognizing the dedication of our employees and the strong culture we continue to build together. Doris B. Gonzalez, acting president of the New York State Higher Education Services Corporation, said, HESC's greatest strength is our people and their commitment to serving New Yorkers. This recognition reflects the passion, empathy, and dedication our employees bring every day as we break down barriers and help students achieve their dreams. We are proud to build a workplace where our team can thrive while making a meaningful difference for students, families, and communities across New York State. The recognition also highlights the values that guide HESC's work every day: diversity, accountability, integrity, respect, and excellence. These values are reflected in the way the agency serves New Yorkers. The employees collaborate with one another and our student, families, and partners, and continues to break down barriers to higher education access. HESC's commitment to serving New Yorkers begins with its people. Through initiatives such as all-hands meetings, open-door policies, and opportunities for employees to share ideas and feedback, HESC fosters a culture of transparency, collaboration, and engagement. By creating an environment built on empathy, HESC empowers employees to bring their best ideas forward and make a meaningful impact for the people and communities it serves. The workplace recognized on City and State's 2026 Top Workplace list were selected from a large pool of nominations and recommendations and were assessed for merit and relevance. Employee reviews and other publicly available information was also considered. Moving on now, get set for the second annual Pilgrim Family Fest weekend. Pastor Frank Bostic and the congregation of Pilgrim Baptist Church, located at 665 Michigan Avenue, will have their second annual Pilgrim Family Fest weekend beginning July 31st, 2026 through August 2nd, 2026 in the field next to the church. This is a free weekend event that will kick off on July 31st, 2026 with a fish fry dinner from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. After the fish fry dinner, a concert will start from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. featuring local Buffalo artists to perform. People are encouraged to bring lawn chairs to enjoy all the performances. On Saturday, August the 2nd, 2026, August the 1st, that is, the 2nd, 2026, starting at 11 a.m. through 9 p.m., there will be a day of music by nationally known recording artists such as Lenny Williams, Angela Winbush, Glenn Jones, Michael Norwood, the Black Betties, Funk and Waffles, Leandria Johnson, and the Ultimate Daz Band, with the original member Michael Calhoun. Guest DJs are DJ Big Papa and DJ Ms. Official. Along with the entertainment, there will be a Black Health Symposium celebrating the city of Buffalo. People can come and gain valuable information on health services ranging from diabetes, mental health, to breast screening through the on-site mobile unit. Food and other vendors to purchase from will be on site for people to dine for enjoyment as well. Sunday, August 2nd, 2026, will conclude the Pilgrim Family Fest weekend with a morning service at the church beginning at 9 a.m. with praise and worship featuring Leandria Johnson and guest pastors giving an encouraging word from the Lord. So, come out and again, bring your lawn chairs to enjoy this spectacular weekend at Pilgrim Baptist Church. For more information on this event, please contact Ms. T at 716-277-4518. That's Ms. T at 716-277-4518. Pastor Bostic is looking forward to seeing everyone at Pilgrim Family Fest. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from the Buffalo Criterion on the Niagara Frontier radio reading service. Moving on to our next article now, from Buffalo, A Quilt of Honor for a Life of Service. WW2 Navy veteran recognized by foundation. Surrounded by friends, fellow veterans, and community leaders, World War II Navy veteran Dr. James McDaniel Sr. received one of the nation's highest expressions of gratitude from fellow Americans on Monday, July 13, 2026, during a moving Quilts of Valor Foundation Honor Quilt presentation held at Elwood Assistant Living Residence. The ceremony celebrated a remarkable life defined by courage, compassion, and an unwavering commitment to serving others. Members of the Janetta R. Cole AMVETS Post number 24 and the African American Veterans Arts and Culture Corporation, who jointly submitted the application requesting this special recognition, proudly participated in the presentation honoring one of Buffalo's most distinguished veterans and physicians. The Quilts of Valor Foundation awards handmade quilts to service members and veterans who have been touched by war, recognizing not only their military service, but also the sacrifices they and their families have made in defense of our nation. Each quilt is crafted with care and presented as a tangible expression of appreciation, comfort, healing, and respect. For Dr. McDaniel, the honor reflects a lifetime of extraordinary service spanning both military and civilian life. During World War II, Dr. McDaniel enlisted in the United States Navy and served as a steward aboard the USS Sheridan, APA-51, an attack transport that participated in operations throughout the Pacific Theater. Like many African American sailors of that era, he was assigned to the Navy's segregated stewards branch. Yet when the battle alarm sounded and the ship went to general quarters, he stood shoulder to shoulder with fellow sailors as a member of the ship's anti-aircraft gun crew, helping defend the USS Sheridan against relentless enemy aircraft and deadly kamikaze attacks during some of the war's most dangerous operations. Following the Allied victory, Dr. McDaniel was honorably discharged in 1945 and returned home determined to continue serving his community in another vital capacity. He pursued medicine and became one of Buffalo's most respected obstetricians-gynecologists. Over the course of an exceptional career that spanned decades, Dr. McDaniel delivered thousands of babies, caring for multiple generations of Western New York families. Countless Buffalo residents entered the world under his watchful care, and many mothers entrusted him with the births of their children and grandchildren alike. His compassionate bedside manner, professional excellence, and unwavering dedication earned him the admiration of colleagues and patients throughout the region. In addition to his work at Deaconess Hospital, Dr. McDaniel devoted many years to providing quality health care through the Geneva B. Scruggs Community Health Care Center at its Kensington Avenue and Tower Street locations. On July 5, 1994, he participated in the opening of the health center's expanded Main Street facility at 1461 Main Street, helping improve access to health care for countless Buffalo residents. Throughout every chapter of his life, Dr. McDaniel exemplified servant leadership, whether defending his country during wartime or delivering compassionate medical care during peacetime. His life's work has reflected integrity, sacrifice, and an enduring commitment to improving the lives of others. The ceremony also highlighted the importance of ensuring that the stories of America's greatest generation continue to be shared. Dr. McDaniel's experiences as an African American sailor during a segregated era of military service and his groundbreaking contributions to medicine represent an important chapter in both Buffalo's history and the nation's story. As the beautifully handcrafted quilt was draped across Dr. McDaniel's shoulders, those gathered witnessed more than a ceremonial presentation. They witnessed a nation expressing its gratitude to one of its heroes. For the members of the Johnetta R. Cole AMVETS Post Number 24, the African American Veterans Arts and Culture Corporation, and everyone in attendance, the afternoon served as a powerful reminder that honoring our veterans is not simply about remembering the past. It is about preserving the legacy of those whose sacrifices help shape the freedoms and opportunities enjoyed today. Dr. James McDaniel Sr.'s life continues to inspire generations of veterans, healthcare professionals, community leaders, and citizens alike. His story reminds us that true greatness is measured not only by extraordinary accomplishments, but by a lifetime devoted to serving others. On this memorable July afternoon, Buffalo paused to say what can never be said enough. Thank you for your service. Our next article is also from Buffalo. Harvest House Buffalo launches 4th annual baby shower drive to support Buffalo children living in poverty. Harvest House Buffalo has launched its 4th annual baby shower drive, a community-wide campaign to provide diapers, clothing, hygiene products, portable cribs, car seats, and other essential items for children living in poverty across Buffalo. Running from September through October, the drive comes as many working families face rising living costs and increasing prices for basic baby necessities. Harvest House expects to serve approximately 800 children each month, reaching nearly 10,000 children during the coming year through its family support programs. According to Harvest House, more than 65,000 children in the Buffalo area live in poverty, including approximately 30,000 children living in extreme poverty, defined as 50% of the federal poverty level. More than half of those children live on Buffalo's east side. Every child deserves a healthy start in life, said Brandy Loveland, Harvest House CEO. For many families, something as basic as diapers has become an overwhelming financial burden. Parents are making heartbreaking choices between buying diapers, paying rent, purchasing groceries, or keeping the lights on. Our community has the opportunity to change that. Harvest House reports that many families it serves are experiencing severe financial hardship, such as parents regularly run out of diapers and other essential supplies. Families often borrow money to purchase baby necessities. Parents may postpone buying necessities or sacrifice food and utility payments to care for their children. A lack of basic supplies can contribute to poor health outcomes for infants while increasing stress and anxiety among parents. The organization estimates that every donated dollar can generate up to $11 in community impact by helping families avoid financial crises, improving child health, and reducing reliance on emergency services. Harvest House is encouraging businesses, schools, churches, civic organizations, neighborhood groups, and individuals throughout Western New York to organize collection drives or make financial contributions. The organization is especially seeking donations for the following items: diapers, particularly newborn, and sizes 4 to 6, baby wipes and hygiene products, gently used children's clothing, newborn through size 14, new socks and underwear, portable cribs, car seats less than 2 years old. Free pickup of donated items is available for participating organizations. This campaign is not simply about providing supplies, Loveland said. It is about giving children a healthier start, reducing stress on parents, and strengthening families throughout our community. When Buffalo comes together, we can ensure that no child goes without life's basic necessities. Community organizations, businesses, faith groups, schools, and individuals interested in hosting a collection drive or making a donation are encouraged to contact Harvest House. Our next article is written by Erie County Executive Mark C. Polenkars. Summer brings fun outdoor opportunities. As the relaxed days of summer continue here in Erie County, I remind you that the Erie County Park System is considered one of the finest in the country. I encourage everyone to spend some time reconnecting with nature in your own neighborhood by visiting one of the facilities made possible thanks to my administration's commitment to our community. One of my main goals when I first became county executive was to invest in our parks, forests, golf courses, campground, and beaches, which had become run down due to years of disinvestment. We've done that thanks to wise annual investments and the work of a dedicated staff of full-time, part-time, and seasonal employees who serve at various locations throughout the county. I recently stopped at Bennett Beach in the town of Evans, a beautiful destination to visit during the summer months. As one of the largest white sand beaches in all the Great Lakes, it is free to use for swimming and sunbathing. The beach opens daily at 10 a.m. with certified lifeguards on duty from noon to 7 p.m. The sunset views are incredible, and there are also opportunities to go fishing, enjoy a picnic, or simply sit and relax. I plan to visit other local parks throughout the rest of the summer, so please keep an eye on the Erie County various social media accounts as well as local newscasts and newspapers as part of an ongoing tour of our public parks system. More information about activities happening at each location and a list of free programs and upcoming special events can be found by visiting www.erie.gov/parks/events. Please don't forget to download Erie County's new Ready Erie app. This updated emergency preparedness tool helps keep us all informed with weather forecasts, safety resources, real-time alerts, and other useful tools that will help you stay informed and ready during emergencies. You can download the new app by visiting www.erie.gov/readyerie. Erie County is currently accepting applications from eligible charitable organizations interested in being entered into a lottery for a chance to receive tickets and parking passes for an assigned Buffalo Bills home game at the new Highmark Stadium. The Erie County Hospitality Suite is an opportunity to recognize and support charitable local organizations that consistently serve our community by providing services and offering programs to residents. Using a lottery process makes this a fair and transparent opportunity for each applicant. Applications must be submitted by July 24th, so I urge administrators of eligible organizations to visit www.erie.gov/suites and apply online. If you need assistance with county services or want to share your opinion on a particular topic about county government, please contact my office by sending an email to county.executive@erie.gov or by calling 716-858-8500. Again, an email is to county.executive@erie.gov or by calling 716-858-8500. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from the Buffalo Criterion on the Niagara Frontier, radio reading service. Turning to state news now, our headline is Yonkers NAACP Chair Keisha Skipper secures Democratic nomination. Keisha Skipper has won her long-shot Democratic primary election for upstate's Westchester County legislator position in District 15. She's hoping to keep the momentum going all the way to November and oust Republican incumbent James Nolan. According to the Westchester County Board of Elections, Skipper earned 1,341 votes, narrowly pulling ahead of her opponent, Anthony Nicodemo, who got 1,182 votes. Skipper, who was backed by the Working Families Party, the WFP, doesn't consider herself a politician, but rather a concerned member of the community. She is a disability and civil rights advocate as a permanently disabled person suffering from breathing issues because of long COVID. She was the chair of the Yonkers NAACP chapter and founder and chairperson of the Little Lions Big Hearts Foundation, which supports families with infants born with congenital heart defects. In the general election, she'll be facing off with Nolan, who is a Republican nominee. The incumbent is a Republican that perpetuates Trump-era politics and propaganda, said Skipper. He's polarizing, similar to the commander-in-chief, consistently attacking the Democratic electeds, and so it's a challenge for him to get anything for our district, to fight for anything for our district, even if he wanted to. The Westchester County Board of Legislators is composed of 17 legislators. Each legislator serves a 2-year elected term and represents a district of about 59,000 residents. The board can create laws, approve the county budget, and provide oversight of county government operations. The board works under the current Westchester County Executive, Ken Jenkins. Our county government is responsible for infrastructure, our roads and highways, our parks, our Department of Social Services, and transportation. So, our B-line busing all comes out of the county budget, said Skipper. Skipper said she decided to run for office because she feels like the district doesn't have fair and equitable representation. Her district covers Yonkers, Bronxville, and East Chester. Skipper worked as an aide to the Yonkers City Council and as an election technician with the Westchester County BOE. During the pandemic in 2020, Skipper became oxygen dependent after having COVID pneumonia in both lungs. With her limited mobility, she saw the inequities when it came to transportation, access to voting or polling places, and health care. So physical limitations and getting access to buildings to even go vote was a challenge. Waiting 2 hours or more for paratransit to and from medical appointments because I wasn't able to drive. Having to move into public housing because I had zero income when I was not able to work. And the process for disability benefits is very lengthy. I had 2 school-age children, said Skipper. All of these things gave me a front row seat to the inequities and the challenges that we need to do better. She's always been a worker bee, behind the scenes, and hit the streets door-knocking with her family in full force to canvass for votes, starting in February during a blizzard all the way up to the most recent heat wave in June. Skipper said that she was supported by senior residents and dedicated volunteers. It was exhausting, and I was an insurgent candidate, so it was not the party candidate. I ran against the establishment, against the machine, as they say, with very limited resources, she said. A few volunteers and just resilience and tenacity. My son and I knocked on doors every single day, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. We stopped and we did homework. Later, in the evening, we would stop and do dinner together and just hit as many doors as possible. Skipper said that despite the incredible diversity within the district, its Black, Hispanic, Asian American, and white residents are still divided. Back in the day, residents in Yonkers had to file a school and housing desegregation case in 1980 to be treated equally. The county settled the case in 2007, with Yonkers agreeing to build more equitable housing, but residents say that never really came to fruition. On my side of town, desegregation in Yonkers was in the 90s, said Skipper. So, the federal government said you have to build low-income housing east of the sawmill. Like you have to desegregate your schools, your busing, like everything. This was in the 90s, she continued, and unfortunately, since that time, there hasn't been much movement on that, meaning most of the low-income housing or affordable housing is overdeveloped west of the sawmill. And then everything east is kind of segregated, very little people of color. Because of the history of the black community, Skipper wants to platform affordability, housing, and job opportunities. She also wants to invest in more senior citizen exemptions and disabled persons rent exemptions. Skipper notes that there's still some resistance to her as the Democratic nominee, but she's hoping the Mamdani effect will help her win people over in the end. She said that her strategy for winning is going to be continuing her on-the-ground voter engagement. She refuses to be distracted by online rhetoric and Trump-era propaganda. And our next article is written by Sue Sims. Hot weather treats to cool off. When July and August settle over western New York, the days are hot. Many of us start looking for ways to cool without blowing the food budget or eating a lot of sugary treats. Don't get me wrong, I love ice cream, cakes, and pies. The good news is that refreshing, healthy treats don't have to be expensive, complicated, or have high sugar content. In fact, some of the best hot weather snacks come from simple items already in our kitchens, ingredients that nourish our bodies and cool us down. One of the easiest options is frozen fruit. Mango slices, grapes, pineapple chunks, and watermelon cubes freeze beautifully and turn into naturally sweet pops of hydration. These fruits are often on sale during the summer, and freezing them extends their life, reducing waste. Kids love them, and adults appreciate that they're packed with vitamins, fiber, and antioxidants. Frozen green grapes are delicious. Another budget-friendly favorite is homemade yogurt parfaits. A cup of low-cost plain yogurt layered with fresh berries, peaches, or bananas creates a cooling treat that supports gut health and keeps you full. Add a sprinkle of granola or crushed nuts for texture. Buying yogurt in larger tubs instead of single servings can save several dollars each week. Remember, using vanilla yogurt adds extra sugar and calories. For families who enjoy a little kitchen creativity, do-it-yourself fruit ice pops are a winner. Blend seasonal fruit with water or a splash of 100% juice, pour into molds or small paper cups with a stick, and freeze. These pops cost pennies compared to store-bought versions and avoid added sugars and dyes. Flavors like strawberry lemon, peach ginger, or watermelon mint bring a fresh twist with bold, bright tastes. Finally, don't overlook infused water. Chilled water with slices of cucumber, lime, orange, lemon, or berries feel luxurious, supports hydration, and cost almost nothing. Don't forget to try adding mint and or basil. Yes, herbs are not just for cooking. The cucumber/mint or basil combination in water is very cooling and refreshing. Lemon and fresh thyme work well too. Healthy, affordable summer treats remind us that caring for ourselves doesn't require fancy ingredients, just intention, creativity, and a commitment to wellness that strengthens our families and our community. Happy summer! Stay safe, have fun. More to follow. And we'll turn now to Eva M. Doyle's column, Towards a Better Life, The Old Medicine Cabinet. When I was a child growing up, I remember that my mother always had a medicine cabinet. She kept all kinds of medicines on hand in case someone got sick. There was something to give to us when we had a cold or fever. Even when we had chicken pox and other childhood diseases, she was prepared. Most people remember the bottle of castor oil and Vicks Vapor Rub that our mothers rubbed across our chests when we had a cold. It smelled terrible, but we survived. Our colds were short-lived. And who can forget the castor oil? Nothing tasted worse than a tablespoon of castor oil. My mother made it worse by putting a little orange juice in the spoon. And if you needed help going to the bathroom, don't forget the milk of magnesia. It tasted just as bad. I did not know why Mother put a glove of garlic in a glass of water and later drank it. I have since learned the value of garlic for your health. It is good for colds and a host of other ailments. My parents were from the South. They were both born and raised in Alabama. My mother was from Repton, Alabama, and my father was from Andalusia. Most blacks from the South had survival skills. They had to rely on themselves because of the segregation and racism they faced. It was not always easy for many of them to see a doctor nearby or to go to a closed hospital, especially living in rural farm areas. I learned a lot from my parents and my grandparents. I always keep a medicine cabinet in my bathroom. I also keep various items that I might need to help with pain or just ordinary health problems. This helps to reduce trips to the drugstore. I kept a medicine cabinet when my own children were growing up. The following are some of the items that I find helpful to have on hand. Aspirin or Tylenol in case of a headache or minor pain. Hydrogen peroxide for small cuts. It can act as an antiseptic. Rubbing alcohol can be a surface disinfectant. Aspiricream for minor aches and pains. You can get the odorless cream. Bandages and cotton for minor cuts, especially if you have children. I always kept them on hand. A thermometer. Today it is important to have a thermometer to test temperatures. Tiger Balm is also good for minor aches and pains. Pepto-Bismol for upset stomachs, indigestion, and diarrhea. Lanacane for minor itching. Calamine lotion for itching. Always check with your doctor or healthcare provider before using any of the above items listed. You can also invest in a first aid kit. Most kits include the following: gauze of different sizes, antiseptic wipes, a first aid manual, plastic gloves, bandages, and a number of other useful items. Unfortunately, COVID is still around us. We should have a supply of masks and hand sanitizers. Keep plenty at home and in your car. When the winter months come, this information will come in handy when it is not possible to go out to purchase things to help your family stay well. Remember to always check with your healthcare provider to get further advice on how to stay well. And we'll stay with Eva M. Doyle and her next column, Eye on History. Selma Burke. Her artwork appears on the U.S. dime. Selma Burke was an outstanding sculptor, educator, and role model for aspiring black artists. She started sculpting as a child. At the age of 7, she liked to dig in the dirt of her home in Mooresville, North Carolina. She would squeeze wet clay through her fingers, and she once said that it was there in 1907 that I discovered me. Selma was born to Neil and Mary Elizabeth Burke in 1900. Her full name was Selma Hortense Burke. She was the 7th of 10 children. Her father was an AME Zion minister who encouraged her interest in art. However, her mother insisted that she go to school to enter a profession where she could earn a living. So, Selma studied nursing. She became a registered nurse and moved to New York City, where she worked as a nurse. Every moment that she could, Selma molded raw materials into various shapes. This was her first love. She loved to create historical figures out of wood, brass, and stone. Selma Burke became known for her work and earned a fellowship to study art. In 1935, she received a grant from the Rosenwald Foundation, and in 1936 she was awarded a grant from the Boulder Foundation. She also traveled to Europe and studied under famous sculptors in Vienna and Paris. In 1941, she earned a fine arts degree from Columbia University in New York City. She taught art for the next 40 years, working some of the time at the Harlem Community Arts Center. Selma also founded the Selma Burke Art School and Arts Center in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. She is best known for the portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt that was the model for his image on the U.S. dime. Dr. Selma Burke also did sculptures of such famous people as Booker T. Washington, Duke Ellington, Mary McLeod Bethune, John Brown, and President Calvin Coolidge. Selma Burke earned 2 doctorate degrees. She became an honorary member of Delta Sigma Theta sorority. Governor Milton Shapp declared July 29, 1975, Selma Burke Day in recognition of her outstanding contributions toward art and education. In 1979, President Jimmy Carter honored her at the White House for her work for the visual arts and called her a shining beacon for all artists. Selma Burke died at the age of 94 in 1994 in New Hope, Pennsylvania. The next time you look at the U.S. dime, remember the artwork of Dr. Selma Burke. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from the Buffalo Criterion on the Niagara Frontier radio reading service. Betty Jean Grant writes our next article, O.J. Simpson's legacy belongs to the Buffalo Bills. There are many issues and concerns that are being talked about in the Buffalo community. Chief among them are the abrupt resignation of the Buffalo Public Schools superintendent and the omission of college football and professional football Hall of Famer Orenthal James, O.J. Simpson, from the Buffalo Bills Wall of Fame. Due to the pending intervention of the mayor and possibly the Buffalo Common Council becoming involved, I have decided to stay away from that can of worms. What I have chosen to do is to organize a massive campaign to request the Bills organization to do the right thing and return O.J. Simpson's name to the wall of the Buffalo Bills Stadium, where he has been for the past 46 years. His removal from the Wall of Fame has not been explained, except to say that after 46 years on the wall and holding the record for 3 of the 5 highest yards for rushing, number 1, O.J. Simpson, number 2, O.J. Simpson, number 3, Cookie Gilchrist, number 4, O.J. Simpson, and number 5, Thurman Thomas, he is not fit for either the wall inside the stadium or the family circle outside near the entryway. Let us not forget who was and is the only player to exceed over 2,000 yards in a single 14-game football season. Let us not forget who was the first Buffalo Bill to be inducted into both the NFL's and the Bills' Halls of Fame. Let us also not forget that O.J. Simpson did not do all these record-breaking feats all by himself. O.J. had all of the Bills players and the members of the community, where the latter was known as the Buffalo Bills' 12th man, as he ran and carried them and fans across America into the history books. To omit O.J.'s contribution to the game of football will be to omit the hardships and team loyalty of those Buffalo Bills players who made the period between 1969 and 1977 one of the best times to be a part of football in Buffalo. The committee to keep O.J. Simpson on the Buffalo Bills Wall of Fame is still collecting signatures on a petition to present to the current owners of the Buffalo Bills. We have collected 1,547 signatures online through change.org. I have personally collected over 3,000 signatures on paper sheets. There are thousands more being gathered at churches, festivals, and barber and beauty shops. This writer believes this initiative is successful because many people are happily signing their support. They are signing because they believe that what the Juice accomplished for himself, the Bills, and their fan is what got him to the Hall of Fame, and that is the only thing we should be focused on. The petition signers said that the laws of America and the court's system worked, and a verdict was rendered. They also reminded me that if I believed in the criminal justice system, I cannot be selective and only agree or respect the process if it goes a particular way. And now we'll move to the Is That Right column written by Frank Gist. We must believe the women. I don't. Last year, when I learned the Buffalo Board of Education hired Dr. Mumbenga, an African immigrant, I knew it wasn't going to end well. I saw that movie many times before, but I had no idea the end would come so fast. Last week, in an abrupt and inexplicable move, Superintendent Mumbenga resigned. When there was no explanation, I sensed it had to do with a woman, probably a white woman. I was almost right. This week, there were bombshell allegations, and legal notice of claim was filed against Dr. Mumbenga and another black school board member, Louis Mookie Hawkins, claiming a litany of allegations ranging from sexual harassment, a sexual hostile work environment, quid pro quo sexual harassment, sex-based discrimination, and retaliation. The claim was filed by Ms. Antoinette Amos, Buffalo Board Education's District Chief Equity and Governance Officer. I'm going to say something that will make every woman reading this head explode. The taxpayers of this city and the Board of Education is being scammed. When I heard there were 2 black men involved in the lawsuit, my BS antenna went up. For 2 of them to be that stupid to sexually harass a woman in this Me Too era didn't add up for me. I believe the claimant plotted and orchestrated and ultimately set up these men. She saw an easy immigrant, Mark, whom she could manipulate. In the notice of claim, it meticulously recites numerous incidents where she said he sexually harassed her. She must have kept a log of all her perceived indiscretions she alleges happened as a man. I know most men have fragile egos. A woman can put a male in his place quite fast and in a hurry if she's truly not interested in his advances. Yet women always knows when a man likes her, and sometimes she tickles a man's fancy and keeps him at arm's length to string him along with the delusion of romance down the line. I truly believe these men were set up by a conniving, money-grubbing Me-Tooer who plotted a big scam from the day she took her job to sucker these black men into falling for the trap, all with the ultimate goal of stealing a life-changing bag and relocating someplace warm at the expense of taxpayers, destroying livelihood and reputation of 2 upright black men. I know. I'm a monster for even thinking a black woman would do such a devious, evil thing to a brother. Laugh out loud. The feminist propaganda today tells Americans we must believe the women. The older I get, the more I understand that total BS. One needs only to tune into the paternity court, and it will tell you everything about believing all women. I read once that 40% of these cases aired, turns out you not the father. There needs to be a trial to determine the guilt or innocence of Superintendent Mumbenga and board members before any taxpayer's money is awarded. And we'll turn now to A Poet's Way column, and this is written by Gaynell Williams. The Gift of the Fishing Rod. Concerning gifts with eyes wide open beneath the fan and ears that hear and understand, He is the Lord who said, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." At last, she had her very own rod, a beautiful red and white striped fishing rod. The white stood for purity, and the red for blood. He often reminds her now how she had overcome Noah's flood. The stripes on the rod were a symbol of whose stripes on the rod were a symbol of whose stripes you are healed, that we may live a righteous life. This was his very own fishing rod he was giving her. It caused her heart to flutter and stir. To receive such a gift as this, what a glorious feeling of bliss. His love causes her to glow. Suddenly, she remembered the time she asked him if she could go fishing, is what she meant. But he told her to wait, because she had to be sent, and she didn't have a rod. Being an angel in love, he told her maybe more women should go. So he gave her this lovely rod, with a line as long as the lake is deep. Of course, she would be fishing for his lost sheep. Some had gone wading in the water, which was much too deep for sheep. If she could reach them in time, they would not drown. He promised her a crown for all she found, and within the crown are jewels for the ones that were found. As she opened her eyes, wisdom began to flow and glow. Being light in the shade, for him she was made. Understanding rushed in. He is more than a friend. He is the Lord, our reward. He allows you to see some of the good things he has in store, and hear some of the things that ears have never heard, which pertain to his word. Being in love, she couldn't wait to try her fishing skills. She is aware that many will stare, but she doesn't care, because to obey is to do what he says. She is very thankful that clarity is his style, for she is a long way from the Nile. But he did make it clear on the negatives of fear, how love has cast out fear. He said, the subject of fishing is more than catching trout, but the soul of a man/woman is the godly plan. Cast your net out into the deep. Only he knows the number of lost sheep. He is the Lord, our reward, who said, follow me, and I will make fishers of men. Jesus Christ is Lord. You've been listening to a reading of articles and features from the July 25th through July 31st issue of the Buffalo Criterion. We read from the Buffalo Criterion every Friday at 7 p.m. Your reader has been Willard Evans. Thank you for listening.
Coming up next in the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service, we have the New York Times. Following that at 9 o'clock is Discover Magazine. And at 10 o'clock is episode number 14 of Hope Rises by David Baldacci. Stay with us. Radio Reading mails out a large print program schedule to our listeners every other month. If you have not received a Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service large print program schedule in the mail, please call us at 716-821-5555. We will make sure that you receive one every other month. A Braille version of the schedule is also available upon request. Our number again is 716-821-5555.
this is Mark Grier, and for the next hour, I'll be reading from the July 3rd